music then. Warm. Take my hoodie off here. I had to remake some of the map this morning.
Oh, really?
I'll be right back. I'm going to fix my lighting situation.
All right, sounds good. Good morning, chat. What's going on today? What's the happy hap? What's the good word? Everybody having a good Sunday morning? I'm getting my stream set up here so I can actually tell if we're... So I can
I'm
actually
sitting
tell
here
if
rocking
we're...
out to videos of the concert we were at. So
Nice. Test, test, test.
tickle.
I'm not sure what the nickel was for, but...
Tickle. You said test. I said tickle.
Oh, I said nickel. I was like...
No. Why would I give you a nickel back? That'd be a horrible idea.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. You know what I love? Having to fix my stupid camera every time. There we go. Yes, going back to the music, the next time they come around, I think we have to go see them again just because
Oh,
it just
for old
goes,
time's sake.
not even for
Even
old
though it
time's
was only
sake,
2 weeks ago. Well, not even 2 weeks ago. It was last week.
for new time's sake.
For new time's sake. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. They have a song called Elizabeth? I need to tell Liz this.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. It's on one of their earlier albums.
That's funny.
It's on their first album.
Yeah, I need to go back and listen to more of the older stuff. I usually throw it on like random. I might keep this music on. This is I'll have to turn it up a bit.
I don't know. I can only hear Ghost right now. Here, let
Oh.
me turn my shit off. I couldn't hear the music last week, so. Yeah, it's a little
It's actually called Spooky in Pretzel.
that could work. Yeah. That would work.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this going because it is, of course, October.
Oh hell yes, it is.
I got what is
Let
it?
the
Paramount.
spoopy season begin. Ooh, hang on a minute. I'll be right back. I have props I can play with now.
Chat. I don't know if it's still going on, but I believe it was. Is it Paramount Plus? Damn it, I have to check. But they had a special for 1 year of Paramount Plus for $20, and they have a whole bunch of good horror movies on there. Let me check. Oh, Peacock, not Paramount. Peacock. I don't know if that's still going on, but you should totally. Oh Jesus, nice friend. I was just telling chat that Peacock was having a special the other week $20 for the entire year, and they
Yeah,
have.
why didn't you say something? Fuck.
I
I've
just
done that.
thought of it now. I don't know if it's still going. I would check.
I should
But
check. Yeah.
they have a whole bunch of scary shit on there, like actual good,
Nice.
decent horror movies.
Nice.
I I don't know if you're much of a horror movie guy, but
I really am not. I was a big one when I was a kid, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Poltergeist and um, that kind of shit.
yeah.
As it started getting into, like, I think the last couple of them where I went, oh, I really want to see that. This will date me. Blair Witch Project was one I wanted to see, and if you go in there with a logical mind, you'll explain the fear of that movie straight away from you, and I understand why some people say it sucks.
Uh-huh.
Because there's a lot of people that can't suspend their disbelief into what that story is. But I'm one of the people that can, so I absolutely love the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
I have no problems throwing myself into horror movies, which is good but also bad because they freak the shit out of me.
oh yeah,
And then I
I
have to go and check
remember.
the doors and turn on all the lights.
Well, I saw that one in the theater and left that one, and I was living in my apartment. Like that was the first time. Like I moved out in July and October that came out, and I remember going back to the apartment and just turning all the lights off, just sitting up most of the night.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, that was wild.
Did
And it was,
you ever see Interview with the Vampire?
yes, I love
Okay.
Interview with the Vampire.
So we saw that
You're talking
my
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Kirsten
yeah.
Dunst, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So my older brother and I saw that in the theater that I was high school. That was like probably 94,
Yep.
95.
Yeah. Right around there.
And at the very end, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, Tom Cruise at the very end of the movie, as what's his face is driving away, jumps from the back, reaches and pulls him back. And that made the entire theater jump because it was one of those jump scares
That you're not expecting at all because it was like the movie was done.
Yeah, the movie was done.
It's like you're relaxing, going, okay, I'm through it.
And so we got out to the vehicle, and the first thing we did is look in the back seat.
Of course. Yeah, that was
Christian Slater, that's the guy.
Christian Slater. Yes, Christian Slater was the reporter in that. I want to see the new TV series. They're making a TV series.
I know. I want to see that too.
Oh, they released a longer trailer for The Last of Us as well, which
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna watch the trailer. I try to stay away from trailers just because they tend to show so much. But half the time, half of it isn't in the trailer or isn't in the movie, so it's like
half of it isn't in the movie. It's designed. They're designed now just to get you hyped for it. Which I am a person like. I am very much. I like hype. I like the experience before the experience, and the experience during the experience as much. Like when I'm kind of bummed The Witcher both times was the whole season was dumped on us, and it sounds like Netflix is changing that and they're going to start doing the weekly thing that other people do. I'm not a binge watcher. I rather watch it weekly and then talk to someone and say, hey, what'd you think? Oh, that was so fucking cool, that and the other thing.
That's good, but
you only get one of those if you watch the whole season at once.
I know.
If you watch it weekly, you get 8-10 of them. Talking to people, where are you? You caught up? Oh no, I'm not caught. Oh fuck. Okay, get caught up. I enjoy all that aspect of it. The fandom of being a fan of something. It's like the hype before a football game. Like,
I get that. And to me, I see it as they're just trying to get you to pay for several months because they drag it out over.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, but I'm spoiled.
In the baseline of entertainment, the amount of hours I can get for that money out of that subscription service, yeah, I'm completely okay with it. My son keeps sending me all these things because Overwatch 2 is going to a model that's more like League of Legends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where they're going to have a battle pass they're going to do 4 battle passes a year, and every other battle pass will have a character attached to it, and you can earn the character for free, but it's at the end of the free line. or if you pay for the battle pass, you get it right away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the game is free. I can pay, I can earn the character if I want for free. I can get everything for free. And he's like, competitive battles. I'm like, you are not a pro. And if you are a pro, you're gonna invest the little bit of money in the battle pass to get it right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna fuck up the competitive balance.
No, and the
If
characters
you
aren't going
truly
to be.
care, you're gonna spend the money.
Yeah, and the characters
And
aren't going to be
it's
overpowered. It's not like they're going to come out with like god abilities just because they're
they will
battle
be.
pass.
They will be, and you're kidding yourself if you don't think they're gonna do it, because League of Legends does it. Those new heroes always come slightly overtuned,
Oh,
and
do
then
they
they get
really?
nerfed. Yeah,
I don't.
not majorly, not to the point where there isn't a counter or they can't be banned out of play, because that's something in League of Legends competitive. You have bans for shit like that when characters are overpowered. You
Yeah.
take turns banning 10 characters out of the 150 character pool.
Yep.
So if they institute bans and have you ban 4 characters in competitive play, then the competitive scene's fine.
Yeah. Oh, competitive. Yeah, I'm just talking about for the average Joe.
And the
But
average Joe that's going to bitch about this isn't skilled enough to
no,
worry about it.
no, I would
That's
agree.
my opinion.
Morning, Lazy Dragon. You're in the wrong. You're in the wrong chat room. You're supposed to be on video chat room. There's a spot for you, right? I'm pointing at my screen. I'm trying to see if I can. Right
He's
here.
gonna jump in and it's gonna be backwards flip flop. And I'm gonna
Right
be
here.
lazy dragon today.
Right here. You can see my finger pointing on the screen of Twitch, pointing to the empty spot.
Wait, don't point that thing at me, it's got a nail in it.
I'll point it at you if I want to.
Use lube.
Huh? There's something else I was going to tell you too.
If I do that too fast, it doesn't look like I'm moving it at all. I was doing that like perfectly in time with the whatever 30 frames a second I'm getting or on return. And it looked like I wasn't moving it.
Uh,
Human
I think,
skull's a funny thing. Looking at this.
yeah, skulls are interesting.
I
Oh,
find myself wondering things like, are these eye sockets filled in like this? Like, do we actually have cartilage back there? Or is this just done for Halloween decoration and it's actually hollow to the brain? Does anyone know this? If anyone in chat knows this, let me know. These are the things I'm thinking as I'm looking at this prop
wait,
skull.
say that again?
So in the eyeballs, in the eye
Uh-huh.
sockets,
Yep.
there is material right there.
Uh-huh.
Is that actually there? Do we have bone there? Do we have cartilage there? Or is it just done so that there's something pleasantly creepy about the skull decoration? Because it's our eyeballs inside our eye sockets. Is that all muscle around there? Or are they actually held like, can you push your eye back in your head? I mean, fantasy movies would make me think no, because people put knives in eyes all the time. There can't be anything back there.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have a sharp enough knife, you can jam that into somebody's skull. I guess maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never tried to stab one. This is going to be
Yeah.
one of those things that I search on Google that's going to get me on a government list because of D&D.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've never tried to stab a bitch in the face. So, hi Jeff, welcome to the stream.
Only in D&D.
Good morning.
Genius.
Interesting way to come into that.
Guten Morgan.
Well, I got this prop skull here, right? Maybe you know this space back here, is that, do we actually as humans have bone there, or is it all muscle and cartilage that keeps our eyes in place? I know there's muscles.
John's asking for a friend.
I mean, I feel like your eyes can be popped out.
Yeah, well, out, but in. Can they go back into like your brain cavity? Is there something there? Is there cartilage there? Or is there bone there? Like,
Like
I
if
know it's
somebody
done
like if
for this.
somebody took a drink muddler that was nice and wide enough to shove your entire eye back into your skull.
Would you smash the eye against some bone back there, or would it push into your brain cavity?
I don't
That-
know. I like this
I,
conversation.
I feel like a quick Google search on actual human skull would show you a picture of whether that's only on a prop skull or on a real skull. But
Like I said, this is going to lead to a Google search that's going to put me on a government list somewhere. Picture of actual human skull.
You. I don't know where this show is taking us.
It looks like there is some bone back there. Yeah.
We got any doctors in the audience?
Is there a doctor
That's
in
a
the house?
prop. Human skull reference. Yeah, there is. There is bone back there, it looks like.
Well,
So
that's
your
good to
skull
know.
does have, it has these little, there are little slits where your ocular connection is made through, from what I'm looking at. It's kind of fun. Things I knew. It seems that there's probably enough bone to keep your eye, like you might, if you muddled, you might even crack the skull back there. Looking at it.
If you
Doesn't look
muddled,
very.
so if you jammed it in there and just started muddling.
What the fuck kind of old fashioned are you making? Muddled eyeballs.
Well, it is Halloween.
I thought they were called highballs, not eyeballs.
Hey,
Oh, hey,
look at that.
yo.
Look at that.
Man is on it this morning.
Look at that. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
Although I do need to say that I need to get coffee, so I shall return.
okay, you go get coffee and return.
You should get coffee.
Hey Jeff, are you keeping up with Critical Role?
No, it's been a few months.
Yeah,
Maybe
me
more
too.
than a few.
Do you know what's going on right now? Do you know what happened?
I mean,
Like 2
I've got a
sessions ago.
Twitter account, so I have an idea that something really serious happened.
Yeah,
Maybe multiple times, but yeah.
almost all of them. There
So-
was genuine fear that all of them were going away in that combat.
Yeah, so at some point I'll catch up, but I think what it was, I'd miss a week and then I'd be trying to catch up and then it'd go a week or two in between and I'd be like, where are they? What are they doing? And it's almost like I need to watch them all consecutively, simultaneously, kind of, so that I can
Yeah, I got to get back on it because
follow.
where the hell did I leave off? Let me pull up.
I feel like
Podcast.
when I was watching it, they were getting ready to leave the town that they started in.
Oh,
it's
so you
been
didn't
a
even get to
while.
the race yet, did you?
I
The
don't
race
think
is the
so.
last thing I did, which was really fun. But that was holy hell. Take a look at this. They're on episode 35, and that was episode 28. So I am
Yeah,
7 episodes behind right now.
I'm guessing I was in the low to mid teens. That's about as far as I got.
Oh man, yes, I really definitely gotta get caught up with that. That will be my focus this week. I don't know if I'll get through all of them, just being 7 behind. That's
What's
almost
that?
a full Critical Role.
Oh,
7 at 3 hours a piece is 21 hours. That's half my work week.
I mean,
A
there
little
was a
less
point
than
in
half,
which I
though.
was like, 80 to 100 episodes behind, and I caught up. So
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Well, that's where I started. Like when, like I started watching them in the beginning. I was around for the first time they went to Victor, but I was watching live, and that was before they had like a podcast feed. And then I found out they had a podcast feed. I stopped watching because I missed one or two, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time to sit around and watch this. And it runs so late, being Central Time, and then being on the West Coast. Sometimes it's 1 in the morning when they're done. It's like I gotta work. So I was out until, well, I don't know, episode, I want to say it was somewhere around 70, 80 of campaign 1 where I went, oh, there's a podcast feed. And then that's all I listened to and was able to catch up to watch like the last 4 of them live. And I remember the night watching the final episode 114 of Campaign 1, I was drawing the map for the Sky Cloud Giant Castle that you guys went to in the homebrew campaign where you found the white dragon. Yeah. I was drawing that map, had my Chromebook up and
Yeah.
listening to that episode.
Spoilers for anyone who ever runs your campaign once you publish it. There's a white dragon in the Cloud Giant Castle.
The dragon of every color. multiple dragons. Now, if I ever do anything like publishing with that, it's going to be the history of a world. I've been thinking about this quite a lot. No, we were talking about it Friday night at when we're Dave's game. Yeah, it'll be several hundred years in the future. And the fact that there was a light element and a dark element will be all but forgotten. Because the dark element resides inside someone, and the light element went into the sky and is a star. But there are temples to the other 5, so. And who knows, maybe you guys. I have so many campaign ideas I want to run. I want to run one with that as a history, and it's like, that's why I need to do shorter campaigns. I'm only going to live so long. I have so many ideas.
That's even just driving back. I went down to the UW Oshkosh game yesterday and just driving on back, and I'm like just thinking of ideas, and it's like, well, that would make for a good campaign. Well, that would make for a good campaign. It's like, how maybe these are combined to make an even better campaign. But
we were talking about the D&D 1 rules about going beyond level 20 and getting experience beyond level 20 and gaining feats as you do that. Which Dave's like, God, we almost have to do another level 20 campaign. I said, or I come back with like an 8. I get the 7 of you back together and we have like an 8-session micro campaign at level 20, which would be kind of fun. If I can come up with an idea to run kind of through that. Those sessions are going to be long-ass sessions, though, especially if we're going to fight anything. I hate trying that beyond level 12.
How do you even control 7 people in a campaign, though? That seems like just so much work.
You start with
lots of beer.
You start with 4 in the first session, and then the 5th one shows up the second session, and then 2 people ask if they can bring friends like 6 months later, and then you have 7. But I will have to say, though, I've been in a few different larger parties, and you have to have people who work well together and play well together in the end, and allow each other to function. Because if someone is just staying back and not doing anything, it really you really lose some of it. And if someone is taking over, you also lose it there. So people who are comfortable in the space is huge, and I think it worked for us because everybody was really good about it.
There's a couple of things you need, like Jeff was saying. You got to understand that sometimes there'll be a session where your character's not the focal point. There were several sessions where it's like, okay, you are the focal point tonight. You're the focal point tonight. You're the focal point tonight. So doing that across the entire campaign, making sure everyone had focused sessions that pertain to them and their backstory, and then also throughout each individual session, making sure you take the spotlight and shine it on the individuals, each person, making sure each one of them is getting spotlight time within the session, even if they aren't the focus. There are a lot of times you'll notice me, like you guys will be doing something, like you say you and Jeff went off, and I do it even here. It's something that I learned early on that is very helpful to keep people engaged, is when you switch focus, if the party splits or is in 2 different rooms or something like that, leave the people that you're going away from with a question to think about, something to ponder, something to fear, and go to the other person. Put them on a cliffhanger for that moment and go to the other person so their mind is actively working on their situation for a while, and then something may grab their attention from the other player. And about the point you see them getting bored or losing focus or not thinking about something, do the same thing and jump back. And it's very important when you have 7 people to just try and don't let them break up into individual things. I mean, if they go 3 and 4, cool. because you aren't going to avoid that. You have 7 people. It makes sense. You're going to say, hey, 3 of us can go look at this. The 4 of you can go do that. It's what you do in real life.
Mm-hmm.
There were
Yes, but when
several
7
times.
people, when 7 people want to do 7 things at the same time, the DM can't keep track of that.
That's hard. That is difficult. And then combat is super difficult because in order to make it difficult, then my default setting was to take there's hit dice for the enemies and then a suggested hit point, which is the average of the hit dice. I would just take the hit dice and maximize them, whatever the max roll for those hit dice would be. And then I double it. And that was my starting point for their hit points. Because especially when you have 2 characters, we had a rogue and a ranger rogue paladin. I think he had a 4th class too. Delph was all over the place. And Dave will tell you that. He'll be the first one to say, yeah, I kind of spread him out, but he went along with the story. Like his class choice, his level choices were all based on story stuff, which was super cool. But between him and Rick, they would take 200 points off the top of any enemy if they were the first 2. Just very easily with the sneak attack and Bloomstalker Ranger stuff. It just insane.
The straight up rogue was rolling like 3 dice for every attack or something because he had
because he had elven accuracy. So
he'd almost
if he came out of hiding, he had advantage from being out of hiding, and then elven accuracy allows you to re-roll one of your die you've rolled. So he just rolled 3 off the top and take the best one.
He would crit easily 50% of the time he was critting. I'm sure the math doesn't work on that on the dice, but it definitely happened.
It felt like it.
And then every time that the Ranger Rogue Paladin would crit, he'd throw all the smite into it and double all the dice, and it was crazy.
Yeah. Holy crap!
There was another D&D 1 rule that I thought just came out, and I thought that was a really good idea. Now I can't remember what it was.
It's how they're handling critical rolls, where they're no inspiration clears at night. Every long rest, your inspiration clears.
I saw that. Yeah.
You need to use the inspiration before the die roll is made. It has to be assigned before the die. It's called heroic inspiration now. So what we call inspiration. Now the other thing is bards.
The bardic inspiration changed.
They get to react to die rolls, even knowing it fails. So when there's a failed die roll, they can use their reaction and spend a bardic inspiration die to give bardic inspiration to the player. And also there's a healing thing too.
Yeah, they were taking away here, you have bardic inspiration, use it when you want, and then now it's a reaction.
Yep, they made it more dynamic, which I really like. They made it more dynamic, and they toned down inspiration and the critical hits. Allowed the inspiration to cycle more, heroic inspiration. Well, can you see my spooky stuff up here?
Nope, we cannot.
A little bit.
I put my hands up like that, you can kind of see it.
All right, guys,
there's
what do you
something
think?
up there.
Show? Should we do a show?
Let me grab some coffee and I'll be ready to go.
All right.
What do you think? We gonna die?
No.
We have a combined 24 hit points.
Shh.
I have no healing. You have no healing. If we win, I have a plan for what we should do to.
Are you gonna leave bunny droppings on his corpse?
Ooh, that's a good idea. A little Cocoa Puffs. No, are they flammable? I mean, I'm sure they burn, but are they flammable?
I don't know.
Anything burns at the right temperature.
The right temperature, yeah.
And though my memories are faded now.
Strike again tonight.
It's a hunger. Ryan grabbed me on the back of the shoulders.
Oh, I know. That was hilarious.
Oh, that was awesome. Oh, that was so great. Jeff, I wish you could have gone there. I know you probably don't care for that style of music, but you would have had a good time with us.
I don't even know if I do or don't care for it because I don't know that I've listened to any of it. So.
And the show was something to observe, if nothing else.
Think of it as harder rock and roll with devil lyrics.
Yep. But it's parody. Like, I'm not sure they actually mean what they're saying. Well, if they do,
I would be
kind
shocked
of
if
like
they did.
like an ICP kind of thing. If I were
but
to compare it to
metal.
anything I know, but
But
metal.
metal. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys have multiple icons on your map?
I had to. You can just trash any icons you have. I had to rebuild the map.
I need to log in.
So,
What was the password?
You sent it to me on
Yeah.
last week.
Did I?
Yeah. You should have it.
Are we in the intro screen?
No, I'm just hold on.
2
No
words.
space.
Sounds like.
Hold
No
on.
space. I just hit the group chat with it.
I will assume after today we're not going to probably use that code again.
Probably not.
You said space.
Because it was no space.
No space.
Oh.
See Oscar in here.
If you put the space in, it'll give you a blank map, and then you have to go back out and do it without a space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I did
want
that.
to do this. I want to put this
All
here.
right, where's the?
Grab this down. Do this.
Where is the trash can?
That's the thing. There is. Oh, if you grab the
Oh, got it.
Yep.
Got it.
And just drag it to the bottom of the map, that shows up. So I apologize if you have multiple instances.
Yeah, it's not coming up for me.
What?
Then you did something wrong.
Did you hit join game? Or start game?
Join.
Apparently math is hard, and so is spelling.
Are you sure that's the right password?
Yeah, you go to owlbear.rodeo.
Yeah, just no space. Make sure there's no space.
No space, no caps.
Yeah, and I spelled it right. It's showing me a blank screen.
Well, what the truck? What map is up there? Choose the
I see
stone
nothing.
map.
It's just
Do you have
nothing.
go to your little drop down and choose the stone map. Do you have that? Or no? I think you do. On the right hand side next to all the tokens. The top one icon is like 2 pictures.
It's a select map.
Select map when you hover over it.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I didn't have to do that. No.
There's nothing there for me.
There's nothing there for you. And I don't see you in the lobby.
Let me try a different browser.
I feel like I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, last week when I typed it in, I left the space in, and then I had to go back out and do it without a space, and then it worked just fine. And this week it worked, but.
Tom, I'm gonna try something here. I'm going to send you a direct message in Discord.
Does it pop up on his screen?
All right, now I'm in.
You're in?
I switched.
Oh, there you are.
I tried to have it in a different browser window so I could have it separate, and that didn't work apparently. So I will.
All right. I was gonna actually throw the link in a message on Discord, then you would have gone right to it.
I wonder if it's just it could be the browser. I tried using Brave browser, and Brave is kind of more of a lockdown.
Oh, that's a newer one, isn't it?
It's not newer.
I heard it's pretty good.
It's more secure, so it could be maybe it's interpreting.
There's some security issues. Yeah.
The script as a bad or something.
Lethal.
But all right.
Interpreting the script as a.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Two Nerds, One Quest. I am your host and DM, JC Dittmer, here with these two nerds because we still are good at math. The man in the Aaron Rodgers jersey, smiling, nodding, basking in the glow of the ghost show, still is one Tom M. Norman playing Bophadese this morning.
I
How you doing,
am
buddy?
on the square, and I am on the level.
I'm ready to swear right here, right now, before the devil. And
What's
if
up,
we had
people?
any hardcore Christian fans, we just lost them.
Yep. Yep. Sorry. No, not
Sorry.
sorry.
I mean, yeah, honestly, if something like that is going to ward you off, go ahead. Bye. See you later. That
Yeah.
man's it.
If you're already offended, you're not supposed to be here anyway.
Yeah,
We will offend.
We
and
probably
if,
lost those people in like episode 4 or 5.
and if we haven't offended you yet, we will.
And if we do, cool. You have an opinion. Thank you. That man talking there in the Green Bay Packers polo is one Jeff Williams playing Oscar this morning. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, everyone.
Over.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys have ever seen Hocus Pocus or Hocus Pocus 2. I finally saw Hocus Pocus like a month ago and watched Hocus Pocus 2 yesterday. Those are entertaining movies. I am sorry. I don't care who that target audience is. I am that target audience.
I have not seen them yet.
They are
I mean,
fun.
didn't the first
Fun
one come out in
Halloween
like
movies.
the
93.
90s?
1993.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you
And
miss out on that?
I was that guy back then. It was Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and what's her nuts? I forget who the third actress is. I was like, eh.
Yeah, that was not on my radar at all.
Hey, but I got tucked into and they're like, how have you not seen it? I'm like, I'm willing to watch them. I feel like I've missed out, and those will be joining my regular spooky season viewing along with The Legend of Ichabod Crane from Disney, which is wow. Like I look at that now, that would never fly nowadays. All the like over the top caricature stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's from a different time period. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like watching Bugs Bunny and seeing him smoking.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
One of those
there's
things.
a lot of stuff in old cartoons that couldn't be made today.
Dressing and drag. Although dressing and drag today, they probably would. I mean, that's probably why we're okay with it.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
blackface from the 1920s.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or the two crows from
Heckle and Jekyll.
yeah.
Need to start making bracelets WWBBD. What would Bugs Bunny do?
I like that idea.
Oh, anyway.
Delaying
I'd
the
like
inevitable.
I'd like to say it's a short recap, but there's a lot of words on my paper here, so
All right.
I will.
Well,
I'll try to
hop
read
into
it
a recap.
quickly because
Take your time because
we gotta get into this.
this is going to be we're going to finish this combat and then there's going to be a little like
A
epilogue,
eulogy for us.
an epilogue, and then
Epilogue.
this and then we're going to discuss this
Yeah.
campaign and what we did, and if you guys have any questions for me.
I have a million questions. So
all right, well, hit us with the recap so we can get there.
So if you can watch the beginning of last show to get the recap up to this point, we're in the basement of a spooky farmhouse that's full of all kinds of bad things. Last episode we started out in the laundry, what was kind of like a laundry room. Bo was holding the little walking hand, and he decided to remove the ring, and he couldn't quite get it, so he decided to put the finger with the ring on it in his mouth and pulled some rotting zombie flesh off of that finger with the ring into his mouth, and then promptly barfed. The two rings, when put near each other, began to buzz and vibrate, so that was not advisable. The hand then ran away underneath a furnace in another room, where there was a lectern that, once turned around, was covered in symbology and full of fingers, with a nice little contraption to sever some fingers. And also in that room were a box of records from the farm that show that it was losing money. Bo then, in trying to monkey with the lectern, lost part of his pinky finger, but in doing so, it opened the door, matching what we had read in one of the other books about giving flesh to open the way. But before we went through that tunnel, Oscar went and checked the bar room to make sure there wasn't anything else in there and found a diary that explained that the farm was losing money. A farmhand found a tome that was chained full of rituals, and they decided to try a ritual to get wealth, but one of the final entries was nothing comes for free. So then Bo in the other room was trying to get the hand back out from under the furnace and ended up killing it and putting it in the backpack, but it came back later, so I'm not sure. Killing undead things is complicated. The new room was lined with coffins that were full of mummies, and there was a book on the lectern, the book having chains and wrappings similar to the ones from the diary story, and a stone slab. The passage in the book where it was open said, "The rings, the fingers, the virgin in the end, open your heart and find your new friend." And the hand traced the shape of a body on the dust in the slab. So we decided to go get Claudia, put her on the slab, put one of the rings on her, get the severed finger, put the other ring on that one. And then the light started to pulse, and a shadowy form appeared that had fiery eyes, and it attacked Bo. So then we started combat. Combat was very interesting. We had acid breath. The shadow creature threw a book. Chaos bolt that didn't do as much as it could have. Ghost Claudia tried to stop the figure, but the figure ended up absorbing her and seemed to gain some power from her, and that's, I think, where we left.
Yeah, that was the end of that.
So
The demon freshly
you want?
renewed by Ghost Claudia. Oh, you had a
I
limerick.
got a limerick. I
Holy
have a
hell,
limerick.
I missed the best part.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry, Jeff.
Oh, the best part, man. Now I'd say I'm blushing, but this is sunburn from yesterday.
It's show title.
So,
It's blushing, but this is sunburn.
So Claudia, we had to bring her, plus rings for her and that finger. Now there's this shadowy guy who I think needs to die, so Bo and Oscar can get out of the ringer.
Nice. I love it. You used finger. Holy hell. Nice work.
That is impressive.
That's like, you ever see the interview with them? They asked Eminem if you could rhyme with orange. And he said, it's great. He goes on, its surface, no, but if you make it like 2 syllables, like orange, then he starts rolling through all these different rhymes for it. I was like, damn, that's good. All right. So to lay the foundation, Claudia's spirit just went into the big black spirit guy, making him look reinvigorated and renewed with power. He is facing Bo, standing, quote unquote, on the altar slab. Oscar, you are standing to his right, about 20 feet or so, and the hand is to your right by about 10 feet, 7 feet ish, because it's small. And Oscar, it is your turn as you see him renewed.
All right, yeah. The last thing I did, I cast a spell that wild magic to me transported over here, and I realized that I left the bottle of alcohol on the other side. So I'm gonna move back over there, and then I am going to because my turns are complicated. I'm gonna cast Chaos Bolt at first level. And I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos to give me advantage on the attack roll. I assume that counts as a spell attack roll also.
Yep.
So
that means I get to make you roll in the wild magic chart, right?
I mean, you can choose to do that, or you can choose other.
No, I want you to roll on the wild magic chart. Anytime someone's using wild sorcery, you're rolling on that the second you use it.
So 12 hit?
Just hits.
It does.
Cool.
Its
AC is 12.
Oh.
I don't know if we got around to that last week. No.
I thought that would not hit,
You
but hey, I'll take
had
it.
really high and really low swings at him last time, so
All right, so it would be 8 points of. Okay, I rolled fire and lightning. Fire didn't do so well last time, so I'll go with lightning. So 8 points of. Oh wait, no, 8 points plus. I gotta do a d6 on top of that.
The D6 is the
D-
fire or lightning. You said.
It's no, it's weird. It's 2d8 plus a d6, but the 2d8 roll with the effect, and the d6 you have to do separately. I don't know why. So it's 11 points of lightning damage.
It's all lightning damage.
It's
Okay,
all lightning damage.
It does damage, but it's not as much as you thought it should have been.
Okay, and now
And now roll on the wild
since I
magic. Check.
cast the spell, okay.
And let's
Here
turn you
we
into a
go.
potted plant.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
After show last time, I would have rolled to gain hit points. So let's see if I can do that again. 79. It was a good year. It was a good year.
I wonder why.
Illusory butterflies and flower petals flutter in the air within 10 feet of you for the next minute.
Oh,
So
how pretty.
One of the
Oscar now
really
looks like a
effects,
bunny in
but
a field.
I need my camouflage cloak from the other campaign.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. I don't. Actually, yeah. Bonus. If you'll let me for a bonus action, I would like to pop the cork on the alcohol bottle.
Sure, yeah. If it was laying out, bonus
Yeah, it
action.
was-
You didn't use all your movement either, so in some of your movement and your bonus action, pull it up in.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to dump it out just in case. Did you say there was light from this room? Is there an actual open
There are
flame
torches.
somewhere?
There are open flame torches on the walls. Yes.
Okay.
That got brighter as the ceremony was like.
Okay.
Yeah. As they were coupling.
Interesting
if you
choice
are-
of words.
If you aren't watching, it's a House of the Dragon reference.
Uh-huh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm actually, yeah. I'm gonna move. Yeah. So the bottle is just. I'll slide the bottle with me, but so the bottle is just
Okay.
to my right on the floor. I'll stand right in front of the door, just
You
in
didn't
case
pick
I
up
need
the
to make
bottle?
a.
I thought you were picking up the bottle.
I'm carrying my wand. It's a little complicated to hold two things at once, and
Make a
With-
dexterity check.
2 objects, 1 paw.
oh, I probably just dumped the alcohol all over the floor, didn't I? Let's see. Probably 5.
Yeah, because you pulled the cork first. The bottle tips and the alcohol
I
starts
went-
pouring out. There will be some alcohol remaining in the bottle, but because a bottle sitting on its side will hold whatever is below the
So yeah,
opening.
so not thinking, I went to grab the bottle as I slid sideways. I went to grab it with my left hand, and there is no left hand, and knocked the thing over.
Oh, beautiful. Take inspiration. I like that.
Yay.
Using things that happen to your character for story moments. Yes, thank you. Does that complete your turn then?
That is all I have. Yeah.
All right, Bophadese, that moves us to you. Staring down Mr. Phantom Ghosty guy.
I'm very disappointed that Genius did not react to my comment.
Which
Did
comment
you put
was that?
2 objects, 1 paw.
Oh, yeah.
Too soon?
Is it in the chat?
I was going to say that should be... No, he said it out
Oh,
loud. Because I laughed at it.
I missed it.
You put
I
that in
missed
there
it.
as a show title too, right?
Uh-huh, of course I did.
Yep, okay. So what are you doing? It's your turn.
Well, I guess I am going to get back into Oscar's in front of the door. I don't want to be directly. I'm going to kind of be off to the side of him a little bit.
Yeah.
Just so
You
I'm
still
not
have
in
your
Oscar's.
Zephyr.
Yeah,
Your Zephyr strike is up, so you don't have to worry about opportunity attacks.
correct. So I can hit and run. So which is basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get within range. And then I'm going to attack him with, I believe I was using the short sword is
Short
what I
sword.
had out.
I mean, now technically, if you have 2 hands, the short sword and the hand axe are both light weapons, so you could attack one in each hand. If you wanted to use your bonus action to do that.
I could, couldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a good idea.
If you don't have anything else to do.
15 to hit.
15 does hit.
for 6 damages.
What type of damages?
It is piercing.
Piercing from a magical thing, so it doesn't do as much as you thought it would do.
And then I'll actually remember that I have the hand axe.
It was the meat cleaver, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the meat cleaver.
Yep. I'll remember
I
that.
told you to put it in as a hand axe, but it's a meat
Yeah.
cleaver.
I'll remember that I have that, and I'll be like, "Oh shit!" I'll pull that out. I'll take a swing. Crit.
Oh,
Nat 20,
Nice.
and we'll get 7 damage. I rolled a 2 and a 1. Fucker.
this is just a meat cleaver, so
that's slashing damage.
from a non-magical source, so it doesn't do anything to him.
Oh.
It's just a meat cleaver.
It doesn't do anything to him.
No, it's a non-magic. It's not a magical meat cleaver. It's not even a +1 meat cleaver. It's just a rusty meat cleaver.
Neither's my short sword.
Doesn't your short sword have a +1?
No.
No.
I think he pulled it off that body. I mean, if it does, I don't think we ever learned it. If it did.
Yeah.
You can put that as a +1. I've been treating it that way.
Oh.
I know that affects your rolls somewhat. It should have been a +1 short sword. Sorry.
No, you
That wasn't it. That was an adventuring guy. Yeah. Well, this is honestly the first time you fought anything since getting it, so.
I think in both cases the +1 would have rounded down, or wouldn't have. Yeah, so yeah, it would have. I don't think it would have mattered. And you hit both.
Well,
times.
it matters in the sense that he's been doing damage with it. And like if he
Right.
didn't have a +1,
Right.
he wouldn't be able to do anything right now.
Right. But as far as how
At
many
all.
points he might have missed,
Yeah.
it would have rounded down. So I don't think it would have.
Yeah.
Would have mattered.
Yeah, it's 1d6 plus 5.
Would have only mattered if it was odd.
Yeah.
Well, and it's plus 5 to hit, not plus 4.
Yeah.
So that
Right.
does make a difference.
And it's a +1 to your damage as well. So it would have been like any odd number you rolled would have moved you up to an even number, so you would have an extra point of damage. So, all right. Is that complete your turn?
No, I'm going to. So I did that.
You
I
moved.
said, "Oh shit!" And now I'm going to back away.
You're gonna allow it an AO?
No, because I have my Zephyr Strike.
Oh, your Zephyr. Yes, your Zephyr Strike is still active. Yep, you are right. Okay,
I think I have it for two more rounds.
I think you have it for like 10 rounds, honestly, and we're only in round 3, so you have it for like 7 more.
How long is
a
a
minute?
round?
Round is
6
seconds.
Oh yeah, then I have it for quite a while.
Yep, you have it for 7 more rounds.
All right, and that will be my turn.
All right. He took some damage from you. He turns and looks, and he sees the bottle of alcohol laying on the ground. And he is going to pick that up with his mind.
Oh, sure. Spill more of it.
And toss it at, I need a, wait, hang on. Okay, no, that's a Terrier's turn. Okay. It's going to hurl this bottle at Bophadese.
Why are you picking on me?
You're the one doing damage to it. Does a 10 hit you?
No, it does not.
The bottle shatters against the back wall, spilling alcohol, very high proof alcohol behind you. There is some on the floor by you, Oscar. I mean, like if you wanted to dunk something in it and light it and throw it. He was looking around for things to throw, and the podium, he wasn't thinking about using that yet.
He's gonna throw the podium at you? Holy jeez.
So he did that. He's going to actually take one step this way and turn his ass to kind of face both of you, so he's not being surprised by you. I'm going to label this guy Ghost.
Nice.
Seems wildly appropriate. Should have named him Papa.
Yeah.
Inside joke for those of you that know the band Ghost. Oscar, it is your turn.
All right. Well, since you gave me back my Tides of Chaos, I'm going again. I will use my last first level spell slot to, with Tides of Chaos, to Chaos Bolt at advantage.
These sparkly butterflies are you.
How
Right through the
pretty.
butterflies.
As
All
it goes
right.
through the butterflies, it takes some of the butterflies with it, and so you get this really elongated, like purple sparkly chaos bolt.
If it is a dirty 20 to hit, so.
That absolutely hits.
All right, here we go. Oops. All right, choosing what kind. I got a, let's see, 6 and a 7. Let me roll this while I'm looking up the kinds. 6 and 7 and 1. So 14 damage of poison or psychic. Poison doesn't seem like it would do a whole lot, so let's go with psychic damage. 14 psychic damage.
I normally give these things to you guys to describe. This chaos bolt hits it, and it impacts, and there you see it like burn away. Like, there's a movie I'm thinking of, and I can't think of what it is, where the guy's face, where light is like eating them from the inside and emitting out, and I can't think of what it is. I can see the image perfectly in my face.
You're thinking of the is that the Temple of Doom? Like where the
No,
guy
because that they kind of melt away.
Yeah.
That one. I wanted to say it's like a Star Wars thing, but I can't think of it. Anyways, the light is like emitting from the outside, inside out, as the whole like darkness and ethereal dark, like blackness and void is burned away, leaving Claudia's spirit standing there before you. Are we done? She says.
I'm gonna look at Oscar and go, "Well played, Rabbit."
Do me a favor and roll right now.
Oh yeah, I gotta do
Your
that.
chart.
That's how that happens.
This may not be over. We may need to stay.
Yeah.
I think there are things that can come out of this that you may have to fight.
Oh, that rolled a lot. It's a 12. All right. It's not gonna affect the combat, but
Well, combat's kind of over, but what is it? What's a 12?
all right. Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so I had to roll a d10. My height changes by a number of inches equal to the roll. If the roll is odd, you shrink. If the roll is even, you grow. I rolled a 1, so I shrink 1 inch. So I'm just a little bit shorter than I was before.
You say well played, Rabbit, and there's a puzzled look on his face for half a second, and you swear he shrunk. It may look like he just kind of relaxed, but
Yes, Rabbit, at ease. We are safe now. I'm gonna approach the corner of the table and just kind of keep my distance from her, but ask, "What is he gone for good?"
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
Still here like this. What's it like outside?
Well,
dark.
Last we checked, there was zombies and scary things all over. We haven't been upstairs since.
Dead cows, dead crows, dead people.
Yeah,
Can we go look? Can you take my body?
So this
Can you bury me?
This is an actual ghost form of her.
Yeah, this is her. She's talking to you for the first time.
Yep.
Said,
So
can you bury me?
Yep. So I go over to her, and I will pick her up.
All right. You pick her up. You take her outside. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll carry her upstairs, being careful to step over that top step. And
It's open to give me the time it would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm following. I'm gonna straight up use my rabbit hop ability to jump 10 feet to clear that step.
And I am going to set her
As
body
you
down gently and lean it against the wall at the top of the stairs. And I'm going to actually like peek outside. I'm going to go around the house, looking out the different windows just to be sure it's safe.
as you come up the stairs, you step over the stairs. There's a window there with curtains. There is a sunrise, and there is a bright light shining through the curtains, like blinding, like when you're driving into sunlight, a sunrise or a sunset. It's hard to look. Kind of what that's like. Propping her body up, you go walk around, and you kind of start looking out the windows, and you don't hear anything. Um, you step up. The first thing you notice is that the home seems much cleaner. The chair's not broken or burnt. They're sitting around the table. There's no cobwebs. There's no dust.
I'm going to look at Oscar and just kind of give him the rock's eyebrow and like shrug. Like, I don't know what's going on.
You notice that there's some fresh fruit on the counter. There's the whole of the house looks like it's lived in and taken care of and kept well.
I'm going to open up the front door and step out onto the porch.
The front door or the door you came in by the stairs, because that is the back door. The front
No,
door's in the living room.
the door that we came in from. This, yeah,
Okay.
the one that's
Opening
right
that
there.
door, there is a lush golden field. You see in the distance there are several farmhands working in the field, scything down grain and bundling it up. It's very quiet. It's very normal. You can see in the distance the small village you came from, the bar you came out of, the window that is all together. This seems to be the world before the curse hit it.
I'm gonna kind of step out into the sun, kind of close my eyes, and just kind of bask in the
Enjoy it.
glow. Just kind of put my head back and take a deep breath.
I hope the farmhands are ready to see a naked dragonborn
He's
come out
not
of their house.
naked. He looks like Britney Spears. We've been over this.
Uh huh.
Oh
Wait a
yeah, he's
minute.
got his.
Nowadays, that might be naked.
He's got his crop top leather armor on.
He's covered his.
My
Yeah.
my lizard chesticles.
Oh.
I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I have one spell slot left, and I have a sorcery point. So, if you go to pick up Claudia to bring her out, 'cause she wanted to be buried, she said.
Yeah.
Technically, then, if she's a body, she's an object, right? She's
Yep.
no longer a
Yes.
person.
Yep.
Okay.
I would
So
say.
then I think this works. Once he picks her up, I'm going to just kind of grab a hold of her toe or some point so I have a connection, and I'm going to cast invisibility, and I'm going to twin it with a sorcery point, so that both Bophadese and Oscar are invisible, so we can move about the property without being seen to bury her.
Bophadese and Oscar are invisible, or her body's. Oh, she's an object. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So since
As
as
she
long
goes
as he's
invisible.
carrying her, it's not going to be just a floating naked body. So
Perfect. I was wondering how you guys were gonna do this.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Bo, we're invisible. Let's go find a place to put her.
As he says this, you're kind of stretching in the sun and you're looking at the city and stuff, and beyond the back of the bar near the woods, there is a graveyard. It was a graveyard you guys would have interacted with had you chose to go into the woods. But you chose to go into the cornfield a long time ago.
What do you mean we're invisible?
You look at your hand, you're invisible.
Yeah.
Like, weird.
Oh, I cast a spell, so you can choose to have me roll a d20 if you'd like to. If I roll a natural 1, I have to roll on the magic chart. I'm assuming you want me to.
You're
No?
good this time. Yeah.
All right. All right.
All right, so I
Want to have
guess
some time to discuss this campaign.
yeah. All right, Rabbit, let's
We'll roll
go.
it after the show to see what might have
What it would
happened.
have been. What'll be the first thing we do once I close it?
Okay.
All right, Rabbit,
All right.
let's
Yeah.
go barrier in the graveyard.
So yeah, I don't want to lose him since he's invisible, so I'm just gonna hang on and
Yep.
be towed across the field to the
Yeah.
graveyard.
So I
You
would
make your
go
way
and
down to the
find a spot.
graveyard.
Oh, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say you make your way down to the graveyard. There's no issue with hiding from people because you're invisible. You do make a sound at one point, and someone turns around to look, and at one point you swear to God a cow is just watching you. Like he can see through the invisibility. Creeps you out a little bit.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Boo.
If you don't think I'm not voting for that show title, you don't know me. You get down to the graveyard, and there is a grave for Callum. And there is a plot next to it. And you see the dates for it. There is a headstone for Claudia, but it only has her birth date on it. It doesn't have her death date on it. And beyond where there would normally be a death date is just a simple word, missing. Sitting next to his headstone.
Is her ghost still following us?
Mm-hmm. She's following you. More
Oh.
you know it more than that she's talking as you guys go. She's commenting. She said, "This is farm. This is what we were before they tried."
Claudia, how long have you been missing?
I don't know. When's my brother's death date? And she looks at it and she goes, "I don't even have a point of reference for what year it is now."
I would tell her what the year is, whatever the year is.
You're not sure what the year is.
Oh.
You're not even sure what this place is. This is not a place you've ever been to before. You woke up here in a basement.
So if he says what year he thinks it is, then that doesn't sound familiar to her.
She kind of looks at you weird. She gives you the people's eyebrow like, huh? I can't do it. But that's years and years and years in the future. They were messing with stuff inside that book. This wasn't the first thing they tried. They were looking for flesh to be given. There was all kinds of things. I assume that's why I don't know, my brother broke the ritual to sacrifice me. He ran in there and stole me off the altar.
Is that why they chained him in the basement?
I'm assuming so, that we ended up getting caught by the butcher. I don't know if we were flesh to be fed to another ritual or...
All right, I'm going to put her body
down
down next to the plot.
Okay. I think you completed the ritual bringing forth the demon. And now that the ritual is completed, we went back to the state it was at. Instead of the broken, cursed city we were. Farm and all. The last thing you need to do. I wish I had more to tell you. But I feel if you put my body to rest, my soul will go. I'll get to see my brother again.
We can do that for you.
Thank you.
Are there any tools around to dig?
Yeah,
I
looking around, you find a shovel relatively easily.
I was gonna say I
Oscar's
have
gonna try
the.
shoveling with one hand.
I'm gonna actually trade Oscar. I'll offer him the the cleaver because the cleaver would probably be easier to move dirt, and I'll take
One
the
hand.
shovel. Yeah.
All
Got
right.
a little spade shovel.
Over the course of an hour or so, you dig out a grave for and lay her body in, and I'm assuming cover her up. And that's how you
Yeah.
do this. Is that what
Yep.
you're doing?
I would put
You
the dirt
putting
over the
anything?
top. I would
You putting
also.
anything in the grave with her?
Is there anything to put in the grave with her?
There's all kinds of stuff that you found that may.
Um,
I don't know. It's up to you guys what you do. I'm just asking if you put anything in the grave with her. You guys do have stuff in your inventory that might.
I
yeah,
don't
sure.
have.
I have a wooden toy horse. I have no use for it. I'll put the wooden. Actually, no, I'm not gonna bury it with her. I'm gonna put it on top.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So
have. I don't have anything.
okay, so if you're not burying anything, you pile all the dirt back on top and kind of pat it down, and Oscar, as a kind of a final thing, you take it out. And she says thank you when you guys look like you're done. And her spirit starts just etherealizing, and the slight breeze starts taking her away from the lower extremities of
Oh, she
this
got
spirit
snapped. Thanos
and
snapped.
as you see Oscar, you step forward and you put the um little wooden toy horse on her grave. Um, and the legs are kind of breezing away. You see a reaction on her face and a smile. And she says a simple word: breeze. Thank you. And her head whips away, and it's quiet other than the sounds of the town.
I'm not feeling so good, Mr. Bophadese.
Do you think we should do anything about that room in the basement, or
Do you go into the bar?
Well, what I'm gonna do
not
is I'm going to actually
the?
take the cleaver back from Oscar and
Okay.
cross and like scratch out missing.
You go to
And
do that?
I have a chisel. You can use a chisel if you wanna.
oh,
You
I
have
would
this.
actually. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you have this great idea to do this, to cross out the missing and account her as dead, and you go to do it, and her death date matches her brother's. Like the headstone changed magically.
I'm gonna look at Oscar and say we need to get the hell out of here.
Which way?
I mean, should we? I don't want to burn the house down because it's obviously somebody's house right now. Do we need to go back and get the book and burn the book?
Burn it, or I mean, I've got some connections. If we can get back to where I'm from, we could have it sealed away.
All right. Stay here. I'll go run down and grab it quick.
Probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to bury it with Claudia.
I'm gonna run downstairs, skipping over the stuff.
You're running back to the house.
I'm gonna run back to the house, down into the basement. Oh, go ahead.
As you approach the door, there's a woman that is opening the door and entering. How long does invisibility last?
It lasts for an hour, and you said it took about an hour to
Yeah.
do. So.
She looks at you and turns. Can I help you? You need a place to stay. You look.
This is a long story, but I need to get into your basement. There's something that's down there. We just came from your basement. It's a long story, but there's something of vital importance down there. I need to to grab.
She yells. You see a
Yeah.
farmhand from the barn. Yeah? This gentleman claims to want to see our basement. What the hell do you want that for? He
There's
said he came from there and there's something in the basement. Make a perception check, Bophadese.
8.
You see what you think is a scowl. You think he is very angry. And he approaches rather quickly. And you think he's actually coming to pound the snot out of you, maybe.
I'm just gonna hold up my hands and say, "Please, sir, I mean no harm. I just need 1 minute, please."
And he walks up, and as he's walking, he says, "Nancy, go in the house." And she kind of nods and goes in the house. And he walks right up to you. And he said, "Whatever you think you need in the basement has been handled."
Yes, I know. I handled it.
He looks puzzled. It's like,
Please, sir.
that was a long time ago. Anything you know you need to forget. Forget about this place. Forget about anything you know about that basement. You're not from around here, are you?
What tipped you off?
The fact that you look like a pop star from the 90s.
Not the fact that he's a dragonborn. The fact that he looks like a pop star from the 90s. Just forget it. Go home. Let it be.
Where
Let the dead lie where they lie.
Where are we?
Where are you?
What town is this? What city is this? Where are we?
You're far in the north, my friend. Far in the north.
I'm not gonna lie. I never came up with a place to where my character was from. So
What is the name of the place where the Belching Dragon is? What is that town of the 10 towns? That's where my head's going right now, going, fuck, what is it?
I'm
That
in my head. I
town.
want to say like Luskin, but I don't.
No, Luskin's the
that
pirate
that's-
city. Hang on, I can find it. Adventures, source books,
I was gonna say, yeah, who's quicker on the?
Icendale.
Elquin says 10 towns.
Yeah, it's 10 towns, but
Yeah,
there was a specific which town? Lonelywood.
Which of the 10 towns?
Lonelywood, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think that's.
We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Yep, Nimsy Huddle. Yep, Nipsey Russell. Yep. So, yes, in Lonelywood. Yep. This is Lonelywood.
Is there? And I'm gonna look at Oscar, and I'm gonna look back at him and say, "We need a place to rest. Is there an inn? Is there a place we can go and collect?"
I can take you down. I can take you down to the Ramshackle. That's the inn / bar. They have rooms down there.
Yes, I think that would be much appreciated.
Just you?
Me and my rabbit friend.
Rabbit friend.
I was hiding in the grass.
Do you step forward at that point?
Yeah, I'll step forward.
Ooh.
But
I've always
where do
heard
you
about
think-
lucky rabbit's feet and how unlucky it is for the rabbit. Now I think I understand.
Mm-hmm. So do you think the rest of our gear is somewhere? Maybe we should check that bar, the place we started, and see if our stuff is there.
I think a good meal and a good night's rest may be. Before you do much of anything, sir, you look awful. Both of you.
I feel awful.
I will get you some clothing that fits you appropriately.
Yeah, both of these adventures look awful.
Yes, they do. Come on down to the Ramshackle. I'll talk to some people in town and send a care package over.
There are items that belong to us that we don't know where they are. Um,
I can put word out.
as he brings us to the ramshackle, I would explain to him what happened because he said forget about what you know. So I would assume that he is familiar and this would not sound crazy to him.
As you start talking about, he said, "I told you to forget it.
But where
I
is my stuff?
understand what you've been through.
I have items that
I
are important to me.
I will have people go out and look. I'll talk to the constable. There may be stuff that got turned in. It is
Okay,
possible."
thank you. That is all I ask.
I'll
You
grab
bring
his hand and just say, "We buried Claudia," and then go with him and see if that means anything to him.
He looks very puzzled by this. Okay. Claudia's been dead years.
So it would appear.
And he brings you down to the ramshackle. And you go inside, and it's a functioning inn. It's a bar. And there is a bartender, just a dwarven guy behind the bar, and a couple of patrons. And he goes and handles he gets your rooms for the night. Comes back to your table. He said, here's some food, and 2 bowls of stew, some ale. And he said, "I am going to go talk to the constable about your gear, if we can find it anywhere, or if it's been found anywhere. I'm going to talk to some of the other storekeeps and send a care package to you guys. What names should I put them to?"
You can list them for Bophadese and Oscar.
All right. So you guys eat your meal and head up to your rooms for the night and go to sleep. You wake up in the morning and there is a bundle sitting in your room for each of you, and unwrapping it is all your gear.
I'm gonna take a long rest.
I just put you through a long rest.
Yep.
I said after eating the stew, you took a long rest.
Yep.
I'm
telling you, I'm clicking on long rest now
Yeah.
before you can take it back.
You're gonna have several long rests before Bo has to do much of anything again. You
Spell
open
slots.
you open the bundles, and it is all your gear. It is all in place. And the quality of the room seems to be a bit better. Like, noticeably better. And you step down the stairs into a bustling morning crowd in the inn, and there is a blonde woman behind the bar. There's a dwarf serving tables. And she looks at you and says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Did you enjoy your stay?"
Yes, I do believe that I got a good night's rest.
Excellent. Is there anything I can get you this morning? Would you like to see a menu?
Unfortunately, I would have gold because our stuff was
Yeah,
broken.
you got your shit back.
Yes, I would like the biggest breakfast you can get me, please.
She hands you both a menu, and as you grab the menu and you look at it, he fucking walked away. On the top of the menu, it says the Belching Dragon. And that is the end of the adventure.
Good stuff.
He walked away right there. It had to be right there that he.
and we all lived happily ever after.
Changed my mind. I'm voting for that one. Oh. This is gonna be funny because I'm gonna swear at him the second he comes back.
Oh man. Here he comes.
You had to walk away right there, you motherfucker. She hands you a menu, and on the top of the menu it says the Belching Dragon. End of adventure.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, the dogs.
No, it's fair.
Stacy got up and the dogs had to get out.
That was hilarious for you to stand up right there. And, yeah,
I thought there's gonna be more to it. I thought there's gonna be another couple minutes. Nope.
That's the end of it. You see the thing, and it says the Belching Dragon on it. Now it's completely up to you what Bophadese does. We haven't referenced him at all in the Belching Dragon mythology, but now Oscar's at the Belching Dragon. That's how he got there.
Nice.
And it leaves your backstories up prior to this to be whatever you wanted them to be, but whether there was a plane shift or whatever that brought you here by the people that kidnapped you, sure, we could do that. Or you could be from the Sword Coast and it just happened to be you stumbled into this a long time ago and you time traveled forward several hundred years.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar's backstory had him at a wizard's tower basically as an assistant, so that easily ties into, was it Luskin or wherever?
Yep, Luskin had a wizard's tower. There's a wizard's tower, but you are.
So it wouldn't even be that far out of place for him to be just, he was looking for somewhere out of Luskin and ended up in the story. So
that's yay, complete adventure.
We didn't die.
You did not die. Well, Oscar kind of couldn't die. Well, he could have, I guess.
Yeah. Alternate timelines.
There are things that bring people back from the dead in this world.
Yeah, that was good.
And if you ended it where we were in the ramshackle, then I would have just assumed that at some point wild magic would have projected him forward a number of years, and he found his way back because he knew it was there.
How do you know that wasn't what happened with your wild magic that I didn't have you?
Yeah. All right, let's see if I get a natural one.
See what it would have been. I like the idea that it was what projected you forward.
It is natural. I rolled a natural 20. It's no, it is natural 1. So okay, as far as I can get from it. But...
So in
story-wise, it is your magic that moved you forward. I like that idea that your wild magic moved you guys forward.
I was going to say,
after such a harrowing experience.
Yeah. Harrowing. Oh, by the way, Tom, when you were gone, Jeff said they lived happily ever after. I'm voting for that title. For that show title.
You know me, I have a list of puns sitting in my notes on my character sheet. So.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to hear now some background to this story, and as you know, I'm all ears.
God damn it, Jeff, go home.
Well, do you have any questions specifically? Like my whole idea at the start of this thing, I didn't have the story in place. My whole idea was just to make something terrifying and resource light, like you have nothing, because that in and of itself induces anxiety and terror to have nothing, to be confronted with a giant with a meat cleaver and a sword coming at you, and you have nothing to defend yourself with except the rusty meat cleaver you found, and you have chains on your feet.
Not having a wand at the beginning meant I only had like 2 spells and a couple of cantrips that I could even do.
You did really well with Bonfire, like honestly, and that's the type of thing, like I think going back to Mark Rosewater's articles about Magic the Gathering and game design, sometimes not having a million options induces creativity, because you gotta use what you got to do.
Restriction breeds creativity.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that. That's exactly where I got that from, was Rosewater. So.
Yep. Wait, you had a question, Tom?
I did.
I'd say walk us through the parts that we didn't see. Like, if you put together, like, how did we exactly get captured? Because we don't remember. Or
The
was that
whole
just kind
idea,
of a loose?
it was kind of loose, but with like a lot of my stuff that I come up with, it's like I come up with ideas and then I do a certain amount of improv, but I have like places where like the whole idea behind the graveyard is you would have come across um you actually would have come across Callum and Claudia's graves. And then I would have built off of that and the woods, and there was a witch in the woods as well that might have come across. And my initial thought was she was the one that brought you here and then passed you off as like a currency to the butcher.
Hmm.
So, uh, early on, different routes you could go. And so when I said I knew there was a farmhouse through the farm field, which was going to have this house with this ceremony that went wrong, was what was in my head at that moment for the choice, knowing that we are never going to get through the point where I got to plan any of that yet. And then the other direction was the go to the witch's cabin. If you had gone that way, remember Callum said to find a cleric. There was a storyline with a cleric there. I had the idea like find a cleric, and then like her soul would have been in the finger. So her body was soulless, but her soul was tied to the finger. So that's why Callum gave it to you initially. And when you chose to go to the farmhouse, I'm like, okay, well, I need a ritual now, and now I got to involve the finger in the ritual somehow. So the story builds on itself based on your choices, which is really, it's how I like doing things, because I like you guys. I have as much fun when you guys make a choice and I got to come up with something for it, as I think you guys do making choices and expanding the story. And I like to tell my players, you guys have as much input into this adventure and writing it as I do, because I leave it very open-ended for your choices. I kind of set world expectations of where things will be and what you will do with them, and then kind of let you go play in the world and throw the ball back and forth with you guys.
Yeah, I missed an opportunity when Bophadese lost his pinky. Because I think kind of in my thought of future Oscar, he doesn't have the hand, so obviously he didn't fix, he didn't have it replaced. So, although since the way the timeline worked, there really was no time to pass for him to go actually get it reattached. So that might actually work out either way. But I was figuring like if somehow Oscar got locked out of that room and had to reactivate the lectern thing, and he'd be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stick my paw in there that's already not attached, so, and then he wouldn't have it. So
I like
now I
this
can play it
idea
either
that
way.
Oscar has like this adventure kit, like he's settled into working at the Belching Dragon, but he's got like his adventuring bag, like Ellie did. Like she packed up all her adventuring gear and threw it in the cellar, and if she needed it, she needed to get it out, and she did.
Yeah, like a
I
go
like
bag.
to, yeah, and I like to think that Oscar's got one of these things that has a little harness that goes over his stump that his wand connects to, so that he can cast with that one hand and still have the one hand function.
So basically,
It's a thought I had.
you turned Oscar into what's his face
Skywalker,
from
yes.
from
From the Walking,
Army of
from
Darkness.
Army of Darkness,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, yep,
Ash from
yep,
the
Ash,
Evil Dead.
yeah,
yeah.
basically, in
Ooh,
a way. So
Oscar
yeah,
with a chainsaw hand.
this is tapping into little horror things, like having like the butcher that came from Diablo.
Yep.
Like straight up, I'll never forget one of the most impactful things in my life. And I don't know if you've ever seen Carbot animations. Maybe I'll find the one and throw it into the Discord. There is one, he does all these ones on Diablo, and I remember playing Diablo and walking into the butcher's room for the first time and him going, fresh meat, and I'm like, fuck me, get me out of here. Because he like charges you and
Yeah.
there's like shit
Yeah.
hanging all over the wall. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
So inspiration for that. The scarecrows in the field, there was some inspiration for those being taken from a Pathfinder adventure called Rise of the Rune Lords. There's a whole section where there are these ghouls and they're hung on, the people are hung on, it's fantastically written, they're hung on scarecrow posts to ripen they've been bitten by ghouls, and then they hang them on these scarecrow posts to ripen, and you come across them in the adventure, and it's like I want to use that again. That was fun because I was running it for Rick and Mike and another friend of ours, Ryan, and that part was wonderfully macabre, and that whole section of the Skinsaw murders is a fantastic like horror themed haunted house type adventure, to the point where I kind of want to run it again, like for you guys. It's a cool little story that leads that whole adventure. The Rise of the Rune Lords is so well written.
So my question to you that I
Yeah.
remembered, how long did you expect us to actually survive?
I didn't know if you would. As it went on, I mean, honestly, there wasn't an expectation of survival in this, other than I had to see if I could keep Oscar alive or have a reason. And I had a couple of reasons where he could have been, and one of them, honestly, one of them, and probably my favorite thing was if you guys ran and you were in the woods and Oscar died, that Ellie would find him in the woods and revivify him and bring him back to the Belching Dragon.
Yeah, and I mean with the wild magic, I haven't read all of them, but there could also be a point where he accidentally twinned himself. And
Yes.
there's two Oscars, and one had this adventure and one went on to do other things.
There are many reasons. That's what's so wonderful about a world of magic is you can come up with several different ways to anything's possible. Again, with
I
D&D, there
I
are
need
no
a reason
boundaries.
right. I need a reason that A makes sense going to B, but it can't. Okay, well here's a way to get there. Oh, well I guess it can then.
Yep.
There's always a way. Yeah, no, I think we talked about this a little in the last episode about like how it goes from the fear of the unknown to just the fear of the situation.
Yep.
And that was definitely like when I think back to that first episode, and we go in it and you had said it was going to be, I don't know, well maybe I don't remember if you said it was going to be a horror episode or not, but I remember going into it thinking like, oh, I'm pretty confident. I'm a cool little rabbit with all these spells, and then you're like, you have nothing. You're chained to a wall, and you don't know
You're
where you
hanging
are.
from
You
your
don't know each
ears.
other. Yeah, and you don't have anything, and it's like, okay, well, and you're like, I'm just going through all of my features and traits. I have no inventory, and just trying to see like what do I even have? What can I do? What and just like, okay, what's around me? What can I pick up? Well, we ended up with a chisel and a meat cleaver, and that's all we had for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely went from that, and then by the third episode, I think is when we finally got. I got the wand, and Bophadese had armor, and we got to actually like sit down for a minute and rest. It was like, okay, now the unknown is less, and the just trying to figure out how do we solve this is kind of come to the forefront.
Fun fact, and I think I said it before, that entire farmhouse was my best friend down the street's house growing up. Like that whole house is very specifically his layout of his house, where the living room is. Now they didn't have a fireplace, but that's where his TV was. But his bedroom and his sister's bedroom was the bedroom with the spores, and the bathroom at the end of the hall, and the master bedroom was his parents' bedroom. Like that whole like I vividly have that house in my head and what it looks like for this whole thing. And it wasn't far off. Like the basement was like they had a finished side of the basement, which was when you turn to the left, and they literally had a booth with a table, like two benches and a table. And then his mom's crafting area was on the far end where I had the bar per se. But it was loosely like that table in his house gave me the idea that this was a whole like bar area with the desk. His dad's desk was down there and stuff. So, and his furnace was where the furnace was, and the laundry area was where the laundry was. Like it is quite literally my friend's house.
Nice.
Yeah,
up
I
to
think it's easier when you're
up to and including the haunted room where you had to lose a finger to.
No, they didn't have that. But
Yeah,
there were
like,
several times.
Yeah, we went in there a lot. I had to go in there once.
Been in there quite a few times. Learn from my mistakes. um, the but that was the scariest part of his basement, that back corner, because it was like storage and like the furnace and like you go back there. We went downstairs, we turned to the left, we went and played in the finished area, but it was open in front of you and it was always dark and creepy and walking back there. So I'm like, yeah, that's where this whole thing is going to be if it's going to be there.
Yeah, and I think it helps with as you're DMing to have that spatial reference. So when someone says I'm going to go to the left in your head, you're already walking them through that house that you remember.
Yep.
So like you don't have to be like, oh, what does the map look like? I gotta
I
you kind
know
of
I
have that.
knew I needed to do that before we had Owlbear. I needed to know solidly where I was directing you guys.
Mhm.
Some fast facts: the thumping you heard upstairs and the knives keep being thrown into the wall was Claudia's spirit. She knew you guys needed the ring, so she was trying to kill the hand or pin it to the wall with a knife so that you guys could get the ring off of its hand.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's why there was the knives in the hand around the wall. She was trying to help you guys because she knew what the ritual was, and she was like, "You guys need the rings." And so, um,
What was upstairs at the original? Like, because we got to the top of the stairs and the zombies started
Oh
coming
yeah,
through the door, and we went out
we
through
went
the
out the
window.
window.
you went out the window at the top. Oh, that's the interior of the bar. There was zombies walking around the interior of a bar. Like, had you gone that way, there was a 3 zombie encounter.
Okay.
And then you could have gone out the front door or tried to run through and out the front door.
Was there
And that
anything
would
up
have,
there we could have taken? Like anything specific that you had set aside?
I didn't have anything set aside up there. Had you looked, I probably would have come up with something on the fly. Um,
You mean had we
the
survived?
Had you survived, yeah, had you survived, one of the zombies might have had something, or if you had searched behind the bar, I might have had you roll on a random loot table to reward you guys for looking for something. Um, in the room that had all the whispers, I've told Jeff this before that there was a gibbering mouther.
No, you told me that this past week.
Yeah, yeah. In that room was a gibbering mouther. Which here, let me look this up quick for those of you that don't know what a gibbering mouther is. Um, they are. Oops, I spelled gibbering wrong apparently.
Come on,
While
you
you
don't
look
use
that up,
gibbering every day.
I think the most
Gib-
harrowing part of the story for me was the point of us going up the stairs and going out through the window. That was the most intense point, I think, for me, just because like we were scrambling
Grabbing
to
at your ankles and
like we were
Mhm.
trying to get her out, trying to get you out, trying not to get cut.
The door got pushed on your back
The
and was
door got
pinning you to the
pushed.
wall,
Yeah,
and
yep.
yeah.
Like
So
that to me was intense.
a gibbering mouther has an AC of 9, and 67 hit points, and has a speed of 10 feet. But the ground in a 10-foot radius around it is dough-like difficult terrain, and it starts to turn that area. Each creature that starts its turn in that area must succeed on a DC 10 strength saving throw or have its speed reduced till 0 until the start of its next turn. So if you get stuck in that around it, it's going to catch you. It has an ability called gibbering. It babbles incoherently while it can see any creature and isn't incapacitated. Each creature that starts its turn within 20 feet of it can hear the gibbering and must succeed on a DC 10 wisdom saving throw. On a failure, the creature can't take reactions until the start of its next turn and rolls a d8 to determine what it does on its turn. 1 to 4, the creature does 5 or 6. The creature takes no action or bonus action and uses all its movement to move in a randomly determined direction. On a 7 or 8, the creature makes a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach or does nothing if it can't make such an attack. So basically, what it is it when it senses prey, it starts to just gibber and mumber and chatter with several different voices. It has a bunch of mouths. It looks like Pizza the Hut with just mouths. It's kind of gross.
ate himself to death.
Yeah. And it will devour any creature it can reach. So it just envelops you in all these mouths, and then you just become another mouth in it, gibbering and adding. So it will like consume its prey that way. There is I did have an idea of a storyline, and there maybe I don't want to say it because there's just this idea of it being like a sacrificial type thing. Like people bring stuff, like maybe the butcher was feeding the mother. That's what all the body parts are for. And that sometimes if he initially started maybe with whole bodies and then realized, oh wait, it's adding mouths. So the more bodies I add, the more mouths I gotta feed it. So,
Nice.
I mean, he's an ogre. He's not very bright. So
Another monster we fought then was the flesh pile in the basement.
yep.
That was an interesting creature. I think we got. Is that a standard creature? Is that something that you came up with, or?
I pulled stats of something. It was kind of a play on this thing, a gibbering mouther, but it wasn't. It was more just honestly, I know where it was just something I made an AC for it. I had an attack for it, and then it could grapple you. But that is based on season 3 of Stranger Things, the pile of flesh that was summoning to make the mind flare in that
Yeah.
old production building.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of what I was basing that off of because I just watched Stranger Things. Like it's funny, a lot of this times I'll take influence from what I'm interested in at the time. Like right now, I just watched Treasure Planet, so my Eberron campaign may go to space. I don't know. Still debating that. But it is based on the Lizard Principalities and they're being sky pirates, so it fits everything. So just means we go out a layer further in the atmosphere.
Would we have any chance of finding the rest of our gear, or that was all, like, because that was kind of the thing as we were leaving the building we were in, was our gear somewhere,
No,
or?
no, I didn't have your gear anywhere. Like I didn't. That's part of
Like,
trying to do that whole terror by not having access to things.
so when
Like that you guys both would have had great relief had you found a bundle of your gear. You would have been okay. I'm complete again.
mm,
I didn't want that. I didn't want you to relax and be rested. I wanted you to be scraping by with the shit you of which you
Yeah.
were even into the last fight.
With an armor class of 12, I was definitely sweating balls.
Oh yeah. Yep.
yeah, I think we were both at like 10 without, because I had the mage armor and you had the
ring put me
crop
at
top.
yeah.
That is another thing with the combat tracker. Being able to see your hit points is very, very helpful because I can make the story be story based. Like if I want to induce tension and try and put one of you down, I'm like, oh, I can just go after you and like I can be that dickhead. I try and put reason behind what the monster attacks. But there are ways you can manipulate that stuff to induce more tension. So this was very much this was a game that I knew going in. Like there are times DMing stuff where I will throw you an enemy that is meant for you to steamroll and feel powerful and be courageous and amazing. And then there are going to be times where you're going to struggle and it's going to be a boss or something. It's going to be a hard fight. This game, I knew I wasn't going to throw you anything to steamroll. Everything was going to be a challenge. Everything was going to be stressful just to ratchet the anxiety up and the storytelling and the horror of it. So fun stuff to do.
It was good. I like the character of Oscar. I think because we were level 3, so I think as far as going forward, Oscar would probably take some quests from Ellie just to level up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to actually play through those, but whatever point maybe we include him in one of the future one shots. It's probably like he's been working for Ellie for a while, and maybe not all out of 10 talents, but whatever makes sense. So I think that's probably the future for Oscar. Curious what Bo might do.
Yeah,
I
so
wonder where would Bo have gone? Let's get into you guys. So that's Oscar's kind of backstory. We know he ends up at the Belching Dragon.
mm-hmm. So if I remember correctly, and I have to see if I actually made these notes. If I remember correctly, I had said that Bophadese was a ranger who hated
Didn't like to.
nature.
Yeah.
Hated
Yeah.
rangering.
Yeah,
That
he did
sounds
it.
He
right.
was very good at it, but he hated doing it.
Yeah, he did it because it was a family thing. And so with him coming out of this experience, being in a place that he doesn't know where he's at, he doesn't know necessarily what's going on. Uh, he may use it as an opportunity to get out of his family legacy,
Remake himself.
remake himself. So I'm gonna look at the classes to see what he can class as, because he may come
Yeah.
out of this classed as something else just based on his experience.
Yeah.
So he would be
Yeah,
3 levels of ranger, and then suddenly become a, like, probably not a paladin. Probably, I can't imagine he would
Bard.
suddenly become a sorcerer or a warlock or something. But
A warlock would make sense. A wizard would
Ooh,
make sense because those are book studies. Sorcerer is bloodline stuff, so that really wouldn't make
yeah,
storyline sense. So if you went in a
actually,
war,
magical direction,
warlock would
warlock
make a
and
with
lot of sense because of the mystical.
well, a warlock would also make a
Claudia as
lot
your
of sense.
patron.
Hmm.
Warlock would make a shit ton of. Oh my god, Claudia as a patron. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah, actually,
Um,
yep,
and I'm thinking Warlock would also make a lot of sense because it would probably bug him, that tome, and being told to forget about it. And why was that guy so adamant about me forgetting all this stuff? And you start researching it and researching it and researching it. I like
yeah.
that idea. And if you do go that route and give him a couple of levels of Warlock, we can absolutely talk about Claudia being his patron
I
and
was gonna say, and I
find a
think
way to
that,
do that. That would be so cool.
yep, and that's, now that you bring that up, that makes the most sense out of any other class I can think of.
And
Yeah,
Warlocks are fun as hell.
I will say though that I think that Bo used a lot of the ranger skills that he learned to, like, even navigating through things and stuff. So I think there's probably that like, yeah, maybe I didn't like it, but turns out I'm actually good at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool to see too.
And
So
a Warlock Ranger multi-class, that's wow. Like
yeah,
you could have some fun with that. Like having it be like you still carry your bow with you, and you use all the Eldritch Blast stats, but they're always from your bow. Like you draw your bow back, and it pulls back this like
Hmm.
necrotic energy instead
mhm.
of arrows, and you Eldritch Blast with your bow. Like just that concept makes me smile inside.
Yeah, I and see that the ranger. Do you remember the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon? How he used
Yep,
his
yep,
arrows were
ink,
magical.
yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I picture. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's,
Except it would be like being a warlock. They'd be like
yep.
purple and dark
Yeah, I
and
think there's an
magical energy.
ability like I think the artificer,
Or if you
can't they
wanted
make
it
like
to
an
be.
unlimited resource or for like a bow, so you don't have to have
Something like that.
actual ammo,
But I mean, like,
something like
just
that.
call it Eldritch Blast. Use his Eldritch Blast, but he uses his bow to cast it.
Yeah,
Like
it
you
would
could
be like a,
honestly, you could be a warlock and your like a spell focus is your bow.
yeah,
That's left over from your.
a
So
hybrid.
everything you do is either shot through or swinging or waving of your bow. Um,
Yeah,
and honestly, I could make an argument for golden bright white light with Claudia being your patron. And a lot of what surrounds warlocks is like this: you're giving yourself over to this evil to do your bidding, but could absolutely be someone good and kind and
Yeah,
warm-hearted, and
I I
I see Claudia as that.
I
So
think what both of these would do is he would probably end up staying at the Belching Dragon for a couple days and kind of sorting through his life. But ultimately, he would kind of probably go and use his ranger skills to set up like his own little hut home on the outskirts in the woods, and kind of almost live a, not a lonely existence, but he would turn into the hermit on the edge of town that would come in and
hey,
do things for the
Bophadese
Belching Dragon.
Kenobi.
Yeah.
nice.
But but he would be like the the good person, but he just,
Yep.
because of his experience, he's just in trying to work out his warlock stuff, he would have the need to be on his own, not on his own, but he would want to stay away from people just because he would be paranoid of stuff.
So he would live on the edge of the woods in Lonelywood, like
Mhm.
on the outskirts of town, and he would be the one that all the kids are like, no, don't go talk to the Dragon Man in the edge of town. He
Yep.
doesn't like people.
Yep.
I mean, and with 10 towns being like half destroyed by the dragon, there's definitely going to be plenty of old cabins and things in some of the other towns where people just abandoned it too. So it could be anywhere in 10 towns or anywhere up there too that you become legend, a myth.
And our version of the Sword Coast is like really taking shape. We have extra buildings and extra people in places, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
We are building a world together with many, many characters. And how do you guys know that at some point Ellie isn't going to send a young group of adventurers to Bophadese to he's got some secret for them that they need to do that. And you can have fun with that. And I mean, absolutely that can be any of you. I mean, any of these characters that end up we placing in a place. I think we kind of all have a common understanding. If you want to use them to tell your story, use them. They're there to help in an adventure. Whether you take them out again to adventure, or you use them as a old man in the woods that may have a secret book that you need, or a ritual. He'll know a ritual. He may be pissed off that Ellie's sending young adventurers to perform this ritual because it's very dangerous. Could be all kinds of fun stuff. You got the rabbit behind the bar. That's
With all of that,
that's that
it is time to close out the session. Thanks to everybody for coming in and watching this final session of the escape. What I call the escape.
Yep.
We are
make it its own playlist on our YouTube channel.
Yep, I created a playlist, so you can go and check that out. Go to bit.ly/OurFunDiscord to get all of our links. We are Two Nerds One Quest. We are here every Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Follow us wherever you can follow people. If you want to support us, let other people know about the let other people know about the show. Twitch.tv/TomMNorm, TOMMNORM. Share that. Let other people know that we are a thing and that we're doing Dungeons and Dragons stuff. We have podcasts. We have patreon.com/Two Nerds One Quest. We have the regular podcast drops Monday mornings, usually around 7:30 a.m. Central Time, so you can get the free podcast that has the pre and post show cut out. The Patreon has everything unedited, so we'll have quite a bit of pre-show and probably a little bit of post-show. Check it out. $1 a month gets you all of our shows. So for me, for the Lazy Dragon, for the Missing Cooch, and DMJC, we'll catch you next week.
Now we just need to attach Cooch to this storyline somewhere.
I always attach a Cooch to the storyline.
Seven and a half hours. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see, D&D.
All right. I'm going to put...
Man, I think generally speaking, we got lucky on that wild magic chart, though.
Yeah, there's some stuff. Like, I was having you roll on that for complications. Like, I was looking for complications.
Yeah,
had you become a potted plant, oh, shit.
Yeah, the one, and I wouldn't have survived. The drop a fireball on yourself. That happened in one of my other campaigns. We were in a covered bridge that was closed at one end, and we were at the far end.
Yep.
And everybody, of course, is in a nice tight circle when it happened.
If you're in chat, go to this link, TomMNorm.showbot.tv. We need to vote on titles.
Jeff, we've talked about if you had to build yourself as a character, Part of me thinks you would be a wild magic sorcerer just for your attraction to random, like your puzzle box deck, those type
Yeah.
of things, and anything that has a random flipping of coins or anything like that. You tend to gravitate towards stuff like that. So a wild magic sorcerer would, I think, absolutely be you.
All right, I'm gonna read some of these titles out.
Hell yeah, let's do
All right.
this.
Let's turn you into a potted plant. A bunny in a field. 2 objects, 1 paw. Lizard chesticles. Nothing to see here. Move along. And they lived happily ever after. And then Weekend at Bophadese came from Elquin. He said, carrying a dead body. Sounds like Weekend at ... So I put Weekend at Bophadese.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Happily Ever After's got my vote.
If you're in chat, go vote. Go vote. Go vote.
Two objects, 1 paw is a good one too.
I made myself chuckle on that one. I was very proud of that.
2 objects, 1 paw. Like every one of these would have been perfectly fine for a title.
I'm gonna pick Nothing to See Here, Move Along, even though I know it's not gonna win. I think it's funny.
Yeah, that one was good.
Cows are funny. Cows are funny.
And I forgot I had this.
You forgot you had this? What's this? I don't hear anything.
See, Sirenscape is so weird because it's so quiet.
Oh. Isn't there volume sliders on the individual sounds?
Not on the
Or I'm thinking of a different one.
not on the hot buttons. So the sliders are on like the actual ambient noises. There's an overall sound volume that I have turned all the way up. All the music and all the background sounds have sliders. But like the like this, the sad trombone.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have
heard
a
that fine.
slider. And so like some of them, like I'm clicking like rooster, and none of these are working, which is weird. But like
Well, that one
blade
worked.
spell works, but then you hit something like arrow and wood. Like it's so quiet you can barely hear it.
Yeah, I did hear it, but it wasn't very
so
pronounced.
it's not. I don't know if it's just because it's the desktop app.
Maybe.
It's like the spells work fine. The people cheering works out fine. Yeah, some of it's just I don't know. It's fun. It's good. It's great, but it's not.
And yeah, I mean we don't use Twitch on Wednesday nights, but you could talk to Alquin, who's in the and see, because he uses the sound effects, and I don't think he uses the background music as much, but the sound effects definitely. And
Jeff, what do I need for Wednesday? I gotta do the player client of.
Yeah.
I'm bringing Steam up right now.
So you got
the player
make sure you
client
download
of Fantasy Grounds.
Yep, Fantasy Grounds, and then you just need to get the password and session, whatever. And then once you're in there, then we just do a Discord. I just have to send you a Discord link to the
Cool.
to that, and then I think he'll just assign you a generic character that you can drag around the field to watch what's going on. And making a character in Fantasy Grounds is very complicated the first time, but then once you go through it, it's like, oh, it's all the steps that you would expect to go through. It's just very specific. And as long as you pick something that's relatively common, it's there's a lot of the stuff gets automated when you're using it.
Fantasy Grounds demo, or is it Fantasy Grounds player? What is it? There's a ton of Fantasy Grounds shit in Steam. Holy hell!
I don't know.
Is Alquin still in the chat? You can tell me.
Yeah, or I can add you to our
He's there.
To our
I'm
chat,
not sure
or
if he's
listening.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know if you can go and use He's one of my friends on Facebook and on Messenger. I don't know if you can find him, start a chat, or I can start a chat with you and him.
Yeah. I think we've chatted before on Messenger. So I could find it.
So do we have a winner yet, or just do we like a 3-way tie?
No, I picked and they lived happily ever after.
Yay!
Oh, Elkman says,
Yay.
whatever you download, you do not need to pay.
Ever I download, I do not need to pay.
So if you're paying for something, you've got the wrong thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a bunch of other ones listed. I had Irresistible, Carrot, Diamond, if we came across any diamonds, Bad Hair Day. If there were any fleas around, I was going to say Bugs Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I Don't Care at All. IHOP, it's a restaurant. Receding hairline. One by a hair. And I think I did say I'm all ears there at the end. So
I will tell you this. I think Jeff's doing this because I'm the DM.
Oh, absolutely. I know you.
You can put it into me. It's a good way to get inspiration. I'm still looking for this.
All right. There's nobody online right now. So I am just going to stop the stream. Nobody to raid. So
nobody to raid.
No raid. Thanks to everybody for popping in, enjoying the show. This will be up.
Best features or to join an ultimate GM. So he's an ultimate GM.
I think so.
Yeah, so I just
he's got the paid account. Yeah.
Okay, then that's.
No, next week is the Packer London game. Yes?
Yeah.
Is that?
Are we gonna
I don't know.
Do a stream and watch the game? Just chat, or do we just want to call it off for next week?
Let's. So next week, let's see here, or the week after, I will be out of town. I'm depending upon what's going on. I may or may not be on location.
Okay.
I'm going to Red Wing to help my brother at the brewery.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm coming home that Sunday. Well, I wouldn't be home definitely in time, but it depends upon his internet connection, because I'll bring my iPad. But John, you'll have to run whatever show.
Run it. Okay.
And I'll let you know ahead of time if it's going to be, if I'm going to be able to or not.
Okay. So it'll either be a No Tom show or a everybody show, probably.
Yep.
And that's 2 weeks from now. That's the
22nd.
Oh wow, yeah. Today's only the 2nd. Wow.
They're the 16th.
I'm a little off.
Yeah.
Either way, next week we wouldn't have a normal show, so it's either going to be nothing or like a Packer watch party.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which I don't know. I'm guessing Stacy will probably want to watch the game with me, so I'm guessing that probably won't work out.
So assume nothing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, assume nothing. We'll see what happens.
Sounds good.
And maybe, who knows? Maybe we can do a Saturday morning if people are around on Saturday morning. Maybe we can do a impromptu.
That would be good too.
Yeah.
We'll let everybody know this week.
We'll chat.
Yep.
We shall discuss. Yes.
All right. Cool. Thanks, everybody.
We shall have some Discord.
Yeah.
We shall have Discord, and we'll leave it at that.